Welcome to our first episode of Macro Monday. So on Macro Monday is going to be the first Monday of every single month, and what it is it's going to give me a chance to show you all these really close-up detailed shots of various things going on inside of our containers that just didn't make it into other videos. So we're going to get a chance to really get an in-close look at various different critters and just things that are going on. Now, one of the things I really love trying to do when it comes to this channel is making these projects really feel accessible and doable for you guys in the audience. And this episode of Macro Monday is a little special because everything shot in this Macro Monday was done from one of two cell phones, either my iPhone 6S or a $20 phone that we were given for free when we signed up for our service at our carrier. And all I used for this footage is a $15 clip-on lens. And at first I got it because I just wanted to try to help show people that this might be something they could enjoy as well. But I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm blown away by just how good of footage I've been able to get so far with this. And I'm just really excited to show you everything that's going on in here. When you're using your phone and a lens like this in order to get macro footage, the two quickest and biggest tips that I can give you in order to set yourself up for success is one, good lighting. I'm using just some lamps really that are pointed at what I'm trying to take macro photos or videos of. And you can also take it outside if it's a nice overcast day. That'll get you plenty of light and you don't have to worry about laying lamps down. And then the second thing is keep the camera steady. Now, you can put it in a tripod if you happen to have one, or if you don't have one, you can prop it up against maybe some books. You might be able to fashion something with some clips to hold it in place. Or if you're holding it by hand, I would just suggest kind of anchoring your elbow or your wrist against something solid to help keep that camera from moving. When you're zoomed in that far, any movement the camera has really starts messing with the image, especially if you're taking photos. The video is a little bit more forgiving because most cameras now have a little bit of video stabilization, but the more stable the camera is, the better lighting that you have, odds are you're gonna get the better shot, or you're gonna start getting much better shots when you have those two things dialed in. The reason why I wound up going with this particular lens, well, there's really a couple reasons. One, I like the fact that it was a really affordable price point. Now, two comes into play because a lot of these lenses you're gonna find that are clip-on have kind of like two functions on them. And the way that works is that there's going to be the main lens that's directly attached to the clip, and then there's like a secondary lens that screws on over the top of that. Now, depending on if you're only using the main one or if you have both of them stacked together, they perform different functions. And a lot of these other clip-ons that I was finding, one of the functions was a wide-angle lens, and then the secondary function was the macro. Now with the one I got, both functions are macro. Now they're just different magnification levels. So if I have them stacked, it zooms in really far. I think it's 24x. And then if I don't have them both stacked and I only have one lens on there, it has a lower magnification level. And it makes it easier and gives you more versatility in what you can really see. With the lower magnification level, I can keep things that are larger in frame longer, like the shrimp, because if you zoom in too far on the shrimp, it's really hard to keep much of it in focus or keep it inside the frame itself. And then if you want to get a really close-up look on really small things that are going on, like the baby isopods, for instance, or some of the smaller worms, the super zoomed in one, or the 24x with them stacked, really was better suited for that. Now, the one downside to that, the 24x in the way we're shooting, is if you're looking through a piece of glass, it does have to be really close to the lens in order for it to focus on it. So if you're shooting stuff in ecospheres, kind of like myself, you're gonna have to sand down a little bit of the protective cap on the end of the lens. It just keeps things from bumping into the lens. And it's really not too hard. A little bit of painter's tape and taping it off properly, and then you can sand it down, and then you'll be able to get those really close-up shots in them. Now, if you're curious and you wanna know the exact lens that we've got, I do have a description down in, or a link down in the description below. It is an affiliate link, however, it is not costing any extra, and all it's going to do is, if you wind up purchasing it using that link, it's going to give a very small portion of it back to us in order to kind of help support this channel and continue making more videos like this. In order to modify the lens, all I really did was I took a small piece of a lens cleaning cloth. Now, I happen to use one that came from a pair of glasses, but it does come with one in the case. So cut a really small portion off, cover the lens itself with it, and then put a piece of painter's tape over that. Now, it's gonna keep the lens safe. You're not gonna get any adhesive against the lens, and then I'm gonna put, or I suggest you put another piece of painter's tape over the top of that as well. And then you're gonna do the same to both sides. After that, go ahead and use the sandpaper that you might have on hand and sand down a bit of that slightly opaque protective plastic cap on the end. Again, the only reason we have to take this away if you're looking through glass is because it has to be really close to the lens, and when you add that extra distance that the glass that we're shooting through creates, it's a little too far for the lens to focus. I'd love to hear your thoughts on our new video series, Macro Monday, in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in next week's video.